Stonewall Kitchen will soon close its candle manufacturing facility in Wells. The move is part of a new partnership between Stonewall Kitchen and Aileen Candles based in New Hampshire. The Wells facility is expected to cease operations by June, but Stonewall Kitchen says production at Aileen locations will ramp up immediately and customers should not see any supply impacts. The company tells our Portland media partner WMDW dozens of jobs will be cut. However, the company says it's working to help find employment opportunities for those affected. Stonewall Kitchen distributes to more than 19,000 stores nationwide and internationally, as well as a catalog and online division.